This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 1306 of Horse Tip Daily, your almost everyday morsel of helpful hints, useful facts, and practical techniques for horse folks. Brought to you today by Purina Mills. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is an excerpt from the monthly endurance episode on Horses in the Morning featuring Karen Chaton. This time, Karen shares her advice on keeping your horse's legs and hooves healthy during winter's muddy season. And we'll get right to it right after this from Purina Mills. Do you know how to tell if your horse is a senior? If you guessed age, you'd be wrong, because not all horses age at the same rate. So how do you tell if your horse has entered their golden years? Well, you might notice gray or white hair around the eyes and muzzle, weight loss, low energy, a decline in mental condition, or a choppier gait due to aches and pains. If any of these describe your horse, he or she might be a senior, and it might be a good time to start him or her on Purina Equine Senior or Equine Senior Active Horse Feed. They both have Active Edge, a proprietary prebiotic proven through years of research to support a senior horse's aging immune system. With Purina Equine Senior, greatness never ages. To learn more, visit purinamills.com/equine senior.
Well, let's talk about your endurance tip of the month. And big surprise, it's about mud.
It's about mud, and gosh, I was just thinking, gee, it's drying out finally because my horses have spent like months in mud. And, especially if you have any low spots at all, they never dried out. And it's tough. And, where I'm at, because it will freeze at night. So when the horses walk around during the day in the mud, they leave all of their, prints, and it's all uneven and rough. And then it freezes solid at night. And that can be so hard on their feet. And so I just had a couple tips on how to take care of their feet and their hooves, when you're in that kind of a condition. One of the things that's really important is to keep checking your horse's feet and make sure they stay balanced and that they don't get too long, because if they do, you're going to increase your chance of getting an abscess. And I know a lot of horses this year have been suffering from getting abscesses. So it's important to keep your horse's feet clean, use an anti-thrush treatment on them regularly, especially if they're getting manure packed into their feet. Clean it out. You can do a 10% bleach and water solution and just spray that in there, or buy a commercial anti-thrush treatment, which will also work. And then just keep an eye also on your horse's pasterns to make sure that they're not getting scratches, which is kind of like a dermatitis from all of the mud. And so for some horses, they'll need not just treatment, but prevention on that, so that they don't get scratches. And some horses are more prone to it than others. So you just have to really keep an eye, on their feet, their pasterns, and just make sure everything stays healthy and well cared for. And those are my tips for trying to endure the mud.
All right. Very good.
Well, that about does it. You can find links to today's guests as well as lots more tips at horsetipdaily.com. This podcast was made possible through the generous support of Purina Mills and listeners like you. Learn how you can help support Horse Radio Network programming and qualify for auditors-only perks by going to horseradionetwork.com and clicking on the auditor banner. This is Coach Jen, and I will be back again soon with another tip. So until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.